So we're in a world where information's at our fingertips, right? Everybody in here, I imagine, has a smartphone, right? Most people do. And that's where people are going. They're either going to the computer or their smartphone for information, and to ask the questions that they have. And these are some pretty cool statistics. The way we discover and research products, it's fundamentally changed. How you buy has fundamentally changed. We used to watch a TV commercial, right? Or you used to get something in the mail 20, 15, 10 years ago, and that might have been the way you knew about a product. But now 44% of those people don't even open that stuff. 86% are DVRing through the commercials, right? How many people do that? I think everybody that I know does that. You're constantly unsubscribing from spammy emails that you get. I'm not saying email marketing is bad, but the way that people traditionally do it, they buy lists and they just send out millions and millions of emails to people. You're unsubscribing from those, and people just don't want to have those calls come into their phones anymore. So 200 million are on the do not call list, and that's growing all the time. But what do you do when you have a question? You know, you're going to Google, right? It's the source of all light, power, knowledge. Even if you have your son has an itch on his right ear, you're like, oh man, what is that? Oh, I'm going to go use the Google. Yeah. And you go over and you research it, and you're finding your answer, right? Most of the time you find the answer there. And that's because people are writing content to deliver that answer. So the question is, are you there answering your perfect customers, your perfect clients' questions when they're asking them? So if you're not there, let's look at transforming your marketing, okay? Inbound marketing is the epitome of answering your customers' questions. Where they're asking them, they're going to the internet, they're going to social media, and they're asking their friends, they're asking Google what the answer is. So now it's time to transform your marketing into marketing people love, rather than interruptive marketing like I talked about in the past, spammy emails, the TV commercials, all these things that you don't really care to see, you're not asking to see them. Now you want to, what we want to do is deliver a message that people want to see, so that when they're looking for it, they're glad they found it. So it's marketing people love. So that comes from your content and delivering your content in all these different areas. Your blog, email, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google+, whatever it is, we want to create valuable website pages, blog articles, social media messages, and optimize them to drive quality traffic and quality leads to your site, okay? So then, after you've sort of found these people, these strangers, you want to put it into some sort of context that they understand. So the interruptive marketing had no context in the past, right? It's just a message blasted out and hopefully it's going to stick. But now the fundamental comes down to sort of back to communities the way they used to be, where everybody would share information. And now social media has made that very easy. And Google has allowed us to find more answers. So personalizing your marketing through a deep understanding of their needs to pull leads through your sales funnel faster is what we're seeing is working really, really well. So in order to do that, we have to have some sort of context. And what I mean by that, there's a great example of context. So everybody, how many people have an Amazon account in here? Most people buy stuff on Amazon all the time. So I pulled up mine and my wife's Amazon. I went on there in the books section. So I read a lot about self-development, different marketing books. And so when I go to Amazon, it actually recommends, here's a couple new releases for you, Jason, we thought you might be interested in based on your prior purchase history, what you've done on our site before. And Adrian, well, we see that you're buying a lot of movies because you must have a kid, you know. So we have Amazon Prime, and we're constantly watching. We have a 10-year-old son, Jacob, and we're constantly watching movies. So they've recommended a bunch of movies. That's context. So that's going to grab our attention, right? So, sorry about that. I transferred this from a Windows machine to a Mac, and it looks like my transfer didn't go too well. So in any event, it allows you to marry the buyer to the right content at the right time. And that's kind of what context is all about. So you have all this content, right? And you have your optimized website pages, and we're going to talk about that. You have blog articles, landing pages, and your social media messages are awesome. And now you want to have, after your prospect gets to your content, you want to be able to turn that into some sort of context, because that's where it's going to capture their interest, right? And we're going to display the content that's based on interests of the contact information or the buying stage of that particular prospect. So we do that through the HubSpot software by creating automated marketing emails, workflows that, depending on what type of customer they are, we're delivering the right type of information. And it's information that they're looking for, that they're going to be happy to get, not, hey, we're running a 20% sale off every time they get something from you, but here's how you might be able to improve what you're doing. Say we have garage doors. So say person's out there looking for garage doors. In this area, there's a lot of garage door companies, right? Mm-hmm. There's a ton of them. And what they want to know is how they're going to benefit by getting the right garage door. Who's going to help me by doing that? So, for example, you might put together top 10 tips of, okay, not top 10 tips. Here's the top 10 things you need to know before buying your next garage door, so you can save money on heat, for example. Mm-hmm. And so that's a downloadable PDF that you can have on your website, so then when they are interested in getting that, they can fill out their information. Now you have them as a lead, and then you've provided lots of value. Put them in a workflow at that point and create more email follow-up sequences, because what's the buying stage for a garage door buying cycle? 2 weeks, maybe at the most?
2 to 3, probably, yeah, at the most.
So the next every other day, maybe you're sending them out some more tips, mm-hmm. providing lots of value. And that's where we can get into the personalized, beautiful email marketing messages, powerful list segmentation. Maybe do you just do garage doors? It look like, do you do a kind of other doors too?
For commercial and residential, and we also do dock equipment on the commercial side too.
Right. So there's a couple of different types of customers. Yeah. So we will want to segment those lists into whether it's commercial or residential, and then we can report and look at the analytics to see how we're doing, and then tweak that experience over time. So there are a number of different software programs out there. HubSpot, we think, is the best one. It's affordable, and they coined the term inbound marketing for one. They're a 7-year-old company, and they have done an amazing job at creating a hub, and that's where the hub comes from for all of your internet marketing efforts. So literally, it's the only marketing software you'll need, because it combines your social media, it does marketing automation, SEO, analytics, email lead nurturing, lead pages, and content creation. You can create content right within this platform, and I'll show you in a minute that you can actually create websites right in this platform as well. Landing pages are what I was talking about, where somebody would see a call to action button, download the next 10 things you need to know before buying your garage door. They click that, they go to a landing page, a form that they fill out. Next to the form, there's a little description about what they'll get by entering their information: name, email address, telephone number. You can collect as much or as little information as you would like, and then you have them in your database, and you're able to then market to them. So the nice thing about HubSpot is it can actually tie into your existing website. We put a little snippet of code so that we can track all the analytics. Or you can actually create a website right on the platform, which is absolutely amazing. And last summer, they just came out with the content optimization system. It's a COS rather than a CMS, the content management system. They're calling it COS because you can actually optimize the content to deliver the message in a context that they're looking for. So maybe they were at your website before, they filled out something, they came back to your website, and that something they filled out was for the 10 tips on purchasing a garage door, and you can say, hey, welcome back, Jason, I noticed that you downloaded that, you were looking for a garage door information last time, here's some more information you might be interested in. And now they're, how many websites have you been to that do that? Not too many. There are some that I've been to, maybe hospital websites. I've seen some very, very expensive websites that do that. But with this system, you can do it a lot more affordably. So basically what we're talking about here is a system that works together, takes everything and works together. Before the iPhone, right, we had these things. We had an alarm clock beside our bed. We had a cell phone that looked like that, maybe a GPS device we had to stick on our car window, and a Walkman, you remember those things? And a camera, but now we have one device that does it all, and that's sort of what we think about when we think of HubSpot, because it takes all of these things that work separately, your email, your blog, your social media, all your statistics, and it integrates them into a powerful system, and that's why we call it 1 and 1 equals 3. So how it works. All right, so we have one integrated system that enables us to make your marketing personalized. So your blog, like I said, the content in your blog has to be search engine optimization. It has to be search engine optimized, right? So what we do is we optimize the content and we get that found easier. What I mean by that is we do keyword research, and this is what you should be doing if you're writing any content. There's a tool on Google, it's called the Keyword Planner. Write that down. It's free to use, and you can go in there and type in some keywords you think people might use to find what you're selling. All right, so then what we do is we incorporate those keywords into our blog articles, so that what happens then is these blog articles are Google food. They just eat these things up. They love blog articles because it's fresh, new content. So we incorporate these SEO terms into our blog articles. And then what we can do after that is we can personalize emails, and so that they get opened easier. So maybe we'll put the first name in the subject of our prospect when they get when they're emailed something. So now instead of a spammy email that's not personalized at all, their name's in the subject line, and they get opened up. And I know this from experience because I've been doing it. They get opened up almost twice as many times as an email without the name in the subject. You can create these automated workflows for your contacts based on their actions, and so that you can convert them faster. And the way we determine their actions is through the software, through the analytics that we have available. And then these CTAs, which is a call to action, that's a button on your website that somebody would click on. We can dynamically display call to actions based on what their prior experience was on your website. And then social media, we can integrate the social media experiences from the content that we understand about these contacts, and we can go deeper and create a better experience for everybody involved. Okay, so the inbound marketing methodology. This is what HubSpot has coined. They've come up with this chart. It makes a lot of sense. So basically, this is how it all works and how it's all tied together. Okay, I love this chart. All right, so somebody's a stranger, right? You want to attract them. The way you're going to attract them is through your blog, through your social media. You're going to come up with keywords that are going to attract them, and you're going to get them to your website pages. They're going to convert into a visitor at that point because they've come in through social media, Google, wherever, and now they're a visitor. So once they're there, they've read your content on your blog, you're going to convert them through call to action buttons, landing pages, and those landing pages have forms, and you're going to put them in your contacts database, and now they become a lead. You're going to close that lead through emails, through workflows, depending on the behavior that they've showed, and you can actually score them. How hot of a lead is this? And there are CRM integrations. If you use a CRM, how many people here use a customer relationship manager program for reaching out? No. Well, it does integrate. Might not be applicable today, but then you're closing them into customers and delighting them through more social media, more information that you're putting out there, stuff that they want to see. Again, smart calls to action. When they come back, you can continue to provide value, emails that they want to see, and put them into workflows. And at the end of the day, you make them promoters of your business because now they've had such a great experience. They are going to tell their friends, and that's what the power is behind it. All right, so the content comes in various forms. All right, so I was talking about blog articles. Minimum of 2 per week. To implement a successful inbound marketing strategy, you should be writing 2 blog articles a week. How long should they be? It should be about 400 to 600 words. Okay, and they should be optimized. Like I said, we want to use that keyword planner in Google, figure out search terms that people are actually using. We can tell in that keyword planner how many times per month a search term is searched. And we can see how competitive that search term is. So maybe there's a search term that is searched 100 or 200 times a month, but it's not very competitive. But there's another one that's searched 1,000 times a month, but it's very competitive. We might target that search term that's only searched 200 times a month because we're more likely to get ranked for it. Downloadables, like I was talking about, the ebooks, white papers, depending on the industry. For consumer, B2C company, maybe an ebook would make a lot of sense. For a B2B company, white papers are what they're looking for. So having those available on your website for a free download in exchange for the contact information is a very good idea. These call to action buttons, these need to be placed strategically around your website. I'm going to show you some examples of pages that we've done, but generally next to the content that they find when they're going to the search engine, when they're going to Google, they find your search result, and next to that article that they're reading, maybe there's a couple of call to action buttons. Download this thing, free consultation, and those are important to have on your website because if you don't ask them to take action, they're not going to, right? And then take them to some very well designed landing pages that will allow them to easily know why they're filling out the form and be able to download that easily. All right, so and if you guys want this, I will send it to you. You just email me. I'll send you this presentation if you somehow you don't get all the information today while I'm doing this. But all right, so this is the sort of the funnel. All right, so what we do, we talked about keywords a lot already. We want to optimize your content with built-in SEO tools, and that's, I'll show you about the tools in a little bit. We want to understand which content pushes leads through your funnel, and that's through the analytics that we have available. And then we can see which channels drive the best visitors and leads and customers. Which channels, meaning is it social media, is it Facebook, is it LinkedIn that's driving a lot of traffic from the stuff we're putting out? Are people coming back to our site a lot because of that? Well, then maybe we should be doing that more. And then smart content, we can personalize that for our viewers. So which are the best social media channels? I know this is going to sound simple, but it's the ones where your ideal customers are hanging out. Where are they hanging out? Are you a business-to-business company? Then maybe LinkedIn makes a lot of sense. Business to consumer, there's over 1.2 billion users on Facebook. That might make a lot of sense to have a good presence on there. There's ways to actually advertise on Facebook and drive traffic into ads very relatively inexpensively. So there's a number of different ways to attract visitors on social media. And if you haven't already, how many people have a Facebook page? I didn't do that much research, but if you haven't already set up a Facebook page for your business, you should seriously consider doing that. And LinkedIn company pages are very good as well. And that depends on the industry. Obviously, if you're not generally seeking out other businesses, then maybe it doesn't make a lot of sense to spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, but it's free to create a company page on there, and I'd recommend it for everyone. And just because of the link juice. If you have a link from LinkedIn, it's good for your website no matter what. So that would be a great idea as well. And then obviously Twitter, setting up a Twitter account is a good idea. So, there's some more formatting issues. Sorry about that. Okay, so improving your social media marketing. This is sort of next level stuff. After we've started to publish our social media content, we can determine when that content is getting viewed the most. Is it from 2 to 5:30 in the afternoon? Is it from 6:30 to 8:30 in the morning? That is very valuable information, so we know when to start blasting that content out that people want to see. And then we can obviously see how it's performing, because we can see how many clicks, retweets, shares, any of those things are happening. That's in particular obviously on Twitter. And then we can target highly engaged contacts, and we can actually see, and I'll show you that in a little bit, if you're using HubSpot, you can see the exact path somebody took since they entered your site. You can see which pages they hit, which things they downloaded, which videos they watched, and you can learn about buyer behaviors. Very, very powerful. And then you can use that to measure your return on investment. So there's a tip here: build and leverage a list of social media influencers based on the leads that are most engaged with you online. So back to adapting your marketing and the context of it all. We have two different types of visitors. One is a new prospect, the other one is a warm lead. So we're going to treat them differently, right? We're going to market to a new prospect differently than a warm lead, because they're going to have a different experience. Obviously, the warm lead knows you, so you're going to nurture them for sales, and the new prospect, you're going to want to convert them into leads. This is how you do it, through call to actions, personalized email, top of funnel offers. Again, back to the top 10 tips type emails. You can put them in a different workflow than you're going to put your warm lead into, and then you can actually create two different lists and segment those and automate your marketing this way. So next is automate marketing. My bird is getting a little dry. How are we doing on time?
There's a bottle of air for you.
Thanks. I might actually open that up.
Oh, it's 5 after 8.
Okay. So I think we're about halfway through, a little more than halfway through. So, automating your marketing. A person visits your website. First of all, this is pretty interesting. 25 to 50% of sales go to the vendor that responds first. It's pretty powerful, huh? Set up autoresponders to provide immediate assistance to your leads. Autoresponders, know what autoresponders are? They're email marketing messages, automated workflows, sort of the same thing. Interesting. 5 to 25% of the traffic on your site is ready to do business with you is not. So only, I'm sorry, that was something. But they're not ready to do business with you right away, is essentially what that says. So you need to nurture them through your sales funnel so that they are, you're there when they are ready to do business. So first, the person visits your website, downloads an ebook, receives a follow-up email with the requested ebook. They're assigned a life cycle stage, and then they receive custom invitation for a free consultation. And that can be edited based on, if you're business to consumer, then that would maybe be a little bit different, depending. And you could use coupons at that point. Hey, thanks a lot for visiting our website and downloading the information about the. You're with First Store, right?
First by Susan.
First by Susan, yeah. So in that particular case, people want to know about furs, right? There's a lot of education that goes along with buying an expensive fur.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a perfect example of that. And then once they get through the life cycle stage and they're ready to buy something, and you can give some sort of an extra added value. I don't know if it's a coupon or what it is. Maybe a free cleaning for the next 5 years or something. Whatever. I don't know what it is, but that would be a great example of this for your particular business. So. All right, so then we can analyze our marketing return on investment, and that's really what we want to do, right? We want to know, because this is a lot of effort and time. You probably realize this already. You're like, oh my gosh, when am I going to have time to do all this stuff? You want to make sure you're getting a good return from this. So that's what this software allows us to do. So we can, look at where our keyword rankings are after we've started to create some blog articles, and they start to get ranked in the search engines, which I'll show you some of ours that have. We can sort of see how they're doing. How many visits did we get from our blog, and how many people came to our site and viewed our pages, and how many people came in through social media, or how many people were we able to reach through social media. And so this is sort of the ROI that we're able to analyze with the software. And how did the workflows go? What's the progression? How many times did people open the email? How many customers at the end of the day did we get from that activity? Like I said, it's a lot to do, and really, to incorporate a good inbound marketing strategy, you have to do it routinely, like I said. And it's been like pulling teeth to get my people to do it, but we're doing it. We're doing it, and it is working. It's amazing how well it's working. Our traffic has literally quadrupled since we started doing this, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm excited about it, but it is definitely a lot of work to build an asset that's going to work for you forever. And so think about it. If you're writing 2 articles a week, that's about 100 articles a year. After a year, which isn't too long, in the course of time, in the course of a business, a year's not, now you all of a sudden have 100 ways people can find you on the search engines after 1 year.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
I see this a lot on LinkedIn where people are reposting articles specific to certain topics. Is there like a catalog where you get those, or like an inventory of?
How do you create the content? How do you create these articles, or?
Well, not necessarily create them yourself, but share other articles.
Sharing articles is a great way to build on your engagement within the social networks.
But how, like, are there searchable ways to look for certain topics? For example,
Like a boilerplate type.
yeah, or even just like a bucket.
Yeah, the best way to do
bucket
that.
of how to paint the wall.
Right.
Different ways or whatever.
That's a great question. So in LinkedIn, the best way to do that is to join groups that you're interested in, that are in the niche that you're interested in following. So even for a Chamber of Commerce, there's groups out there for chambers of commerce. And as people engage, they want to get their name out there, so they're writing this content. And if do you use LinkedIn much?
Mm-hmm.
So you get those emails when they write a blog article. That's the best way to do it. You can also search LinkedIn for that content. Searching Google is also going to allow you to find a lot of content like that to share. But being involved with groups, I'm going to say, is probably the best way to do what you're asking to do.
Okay. Because I see a lot, specifically, especially now with it being tax time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the accountants will post different tax tips, or,
Right.
you know, or the HR people are posting different updates with laws and so on and so forth.
Right, exactly. And you'd like to share that because people in
Mm-hmm. Or even something that would be more specific to what we do. But
Right.
I was just wondering if there's like a bucket that they get that stuff from, but you're suggesting that it's from those targeted groups.
Yeah, those groups, those people in the groups are creating that content. Yeah, and then they're putting it out there. My understanding is that kind of what you mean. My understanding of your question.
Yeah, more or
Yeah,
less. I mean,
okay.
it's not those people that are posting the information. They aren't the creator of the information.
Sometimes they're
just
sharing.
they're-
Sometimes they're
yeah.
sharing it. Yeah, right. It's
More
it's a
often
little-
they're sharing as opposed to
Yeah.
originating.
Right, right. So you want to find content to share is what
Correct.
you're asking about.
Sorry, I
Sure.
didn't have my second cup yet. Sorry if it took a while to get to that cup.
No, I didn't think I understood correctly, but yeah, that's to find the content to share would be engaging with these groups, making sure you're joining groups. There is a limit to the number of groups that you can join. I know that by personal experience, and getting the emails that come through and being able to pull out the best stuff that you see coming through that. All right, so like I said, you need to get to work if you want to have an asset that's going to work for years to come. It does take a lot of work. So what do you need to do? First thing you should do is have a way to implement, manage, and monitor, and that is some sort of a software or even a website. WordPress has a couple of plugins. If you're looking to do it on the cheap, there are inbound marketing plugins for WordPress that you can use to help you implement, manage, and monitor. Is everybody familiar with what WordPress is? WordPress is a website platform. Originally, it was built for people to blog. And back when the word blog first came out, it was like, oh, my friend went on a vacation, I'm going to read his blog, right? Well, it's not that anymore. Now, the blog is a platform where you are marketing. And so WordPress is a great platform. We're developing most websites on WordPress these days if we're not building them on the HubSpot platform, because there's so much flexibility, and also there's a huge open source community that allows us to do it for a very fair price, so that we're not creating things from scratch and it costing $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 for a basic website. So we're able to do that a little less now. So that's pretty important to have something to manage that, because there are a lot of moving parts to an inbound marketing campaign. So when it comes to website, you want to find a platform that works well. Like I said, the HubSpot integrated website management solution is very, very robust. When you're thinking about a website, you want to build a website that's optimized. You want to make sure you can easily edit your website pages through a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get is what that stands for. You want to choose from multiple, you can choose from multiple templates. So when we build websites, we create custom templates, which means the look and feel is custom to each one. You can buy templates, but the problem with that I recommend that people don't buy templates is because you can have 100,000 other websites that look just like yours. So it makes a lot of sense to spend a little extra and create a unique look and feel for your website. And then you can integrate it with your CTA, your call to actions, social media accounts easily. And one of the most important things is having it optimized for mobile. We talked about mobile at the beginning. Responsive HTML is what you want to look for when you're talking to any company about building a website. Responsive HTML means that when somebody gets to your website, doesn't matter what device they're using, it's going to look good and they're going to be able to use it easily. So if they get to your website on a mobile device, the buttons are going to be easy to push. They're going to be it's going to be easy to read. You're not going to have to blow it up 20 times to be able to read the text. And then when they get to your website on their laptop, it's also going to look good. It's going to look a little different, but this is the exact same website. That's the important part to consider. Years ago, when people started to build mobile websites, you actually had 2 different websites. What a pain in the neck that is to have to update 2 different websites all the time, right? So now, the only website, I won't even build a mobile website for somebody because, I guess if they pay me enough I will, but because I think it's so important to have one place that has all of your content that everybody can see and it looks great. So, responsive website design is very, very important. Okay, SEO. Before I go into SEO, is there any question? Do you have any questions about websites in general? I've been doing it since 1999. I know a lot about it. And if you have any specific questions that you... No? All right. No problem. I hope that helps with the responsive thing. That's the word of the day. Okay. So when it comes to SEO, we want to make sure we are creating great and engaging content. We're writing for humans, not Google. That's the big problem with a lot of those websites we talked about that got banned. They were writing for Google, they thought, and then all of a sudden Google's like, well, we don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. We want to see what you're writing for humans. Don't buy links. Link farms, there's ways to do that. They don't work anymore. Google's found out about all of these places that are selling links that have a PR, a page rank of, you want to get a high page rank link back. So page rank goes from 1 to 10. I think the only website out there that has a 10 is Google because they created it. But if you get a link back from a website that has a page rank of 5 or 6, that's good, because what happens with SEO is, and it's still happening today, Google looks at what websites are linking to yours. Because think about it, if your website is really popular, other people are going to see that it's popular and they're going to link to it. It's a natural process. They're going to link to it from their blog, they're going to link to it from their website because it has good information on it. So when that happens, Google counts that as a vote for your website. Now, if you're trying to do that illegitimately, they're going to pick up on that, and that's where all these animal names came up. The Google, or the panda and the penguin, all these Google algorithm updates came up, and Google didn't name those. The SEO people did, by the way, because they're freaking out over the last couple of years. But in any event, you do want to get links back to your website. Something you want to write down too is use no-follow links. If you don't know what that is, you'll figure as you start doing it. You can Google it. You can see what a no-follow link is. But if you do advertorials where you're actually paying, because you can pay to be on websites, it's fine. There are some that are legitimate, but you just want to use a no-follow link in there back to your website. So these are some legitimate ways to do link building. Create existing relationships, or utilize existing relationships, and ask for links back to your website, right? Guest blogging. People have a blog in your niche. Maybe it's not a competitor or something like that, but it's something you can augment what they're already doing. Go out and write a 400 to 600 word article and say, hey, can I post this on your website, on your blog, in exchange for a link back to my website? Chances are they're going to agree with that, because that's contact to their website too. Trade show websites are a good place to do it. Chamber of Commerce websites, things like that, that are legitimate links back to your websites. Those are the ones you want to be looking for. That's going to help your SEO the most. Any questions on SEO? Okay, so this is something I took from HubSpot. Some of these are from our site, some are from HubSpot. This is sort of the keyword area of the software that I keep talking about. What it can do is come up with a number of keywords in all, and it helps us do that keyword research that I was talking about that you can use with the keyword finder. And then it tells you how many are ranked in the top 3. It lists them here. You can see how many visits you got because of that keyword ranking. You can see how many leads came in. You can see, what the rank is, if it's first place, second place, fourth place, whatever. Searches, how many searches did people do, find that keyword and enter your website, and how difficult is it to get ranked for that keyword. And the cost per CPC is cost per click. If you've done any Google AdWords advertising, that you're familiar with CPC because it's very expensive in some cases. And if you're bidding on the term HubSpot, you're probably paying about $15.53 a click for that. So that's very valuable to have that ranked number 1, right? And then it tells you how many keywords are in the top 10. Gives you all these analytics that are very, very valuable when you are spending all this effort to get ranked. So you want to track which keywords drive the best visitors, view difficulty, because like I said before, the most time you want to spend time on the ones that aren't quite as difficult, because the chances of you getting ranked for a very difficult term are less than getting ranked for a term that's down in the 50s, say, rather than in the 90s or even in the 30s. I've been targeting like 30 to 50 difficulty.
What content are you using that word organic traffic?
Organic traffic is when somebody types in HubSpot in Google, your website appears, somebody clicks on it. It's organic. The paid results or the sponsored results is the opposite of organic. So you might have noticed that there's some shaded results, maybe 2 or 3 at the top of Google when you search, and then on the right side. Those are sponsored results, and those are the ones that are the cost per click. So when somebody clicks on that, the advertiser, their account is deducted whatever the bid amount is. So it's sort of like an auction. It has a lot to do with relevancy too. So if you're a Viagra website and you're trying to bid on HubSpot, you're going to pay like $100 a click, and they might not even rank it. But if you're a legitimate website that's talking about HubSpot, then and you're bidding on the HubSpot search term, then you're probably going to pay about $15 a click. So there's 2 ways. And ideally, to save $15 a click, you're trying to get ranked number 1 for your ideal search terms in the organic section. Because those are the ones that 70 to 80% of the people click on anyway. About 30% of people click on the sponsored results. So it's a really good idea to do that effort, to get your search engine optimized pages ranked. Does that answer your question?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So this is an example of the blogging platform that is within HubSpot. And like I said, it tells us when we put the title of our blog in here, how many keywords are in that. We want to have at least 1 in there, not more than 3. And then you see this is the URL of the website, HubSpot.com, and then this is the actual page name of this blog article, and you see it's actually the same as the title. And the reason we do that is because it helps Google identify it for this particular search term when it has the actual search term in the URL. And then in your body, you want to make sure that you have 3, this one has 14, which is on the high side, but 3 to 5 instances of the keywords you're targeting in that article. So you want to make sure it's, not scattered and talking about a lot of different topics. Each article should be focused on a particular topic, and that's going to help you over time create lots of articles, because you want to stay focused with the actual content in there. And the nice thing about this is you can view detailed SEO, like I said, automatically publish your social to your website and your social media accounts. Did I miss something?
Yeah,
You all right?
yeah, just trying to hurt myself.
Okay. Gotcha.
I felt that.
Funny bone.
I knew you needed a break, so.
Thanks. So, yeah, the nice thing about this is it's automated, so you can actually schedule. Say you want to post it twice a week, you know kind of when people want to read it. I like Monday mornings, and I like later in the week when we post about 2 to 3 articles a week, because it seems like when we look at our analytics, that's when people kind of open it. They get back to the desk and, oh, I did want to read about that. They spend a couple extra minutes on Mondays to do that. So, all right. So this was taken a few months ago, actually, but we've been able to add over 30 blog articles, and we're seeing that they're getting a lot of activity. And our stats I should have updated this, but it gives you an idea. These are the articles that we've done, and with these results were literally within a couple of weeks. 64 people found it and clicked on it. 60 people clicked on this one. So it can happen very quickly. And then when they go to the article, you want to see this. The one here is the number of people in that period of time that actually clicked or followed through and clicked on the call to action button and filled out a form. Yeah.
I was going to wait to the end, but since we're kind of knee deep in this topic of blogging, who are professional bloggers and how do they become professional bloggers? I know we're kind of talking about maybe doing our own blog,
Right.
but I've heard about, hey, what's your occupation? Well, I'm a blogger. And like,
Sure, that's a good question.
Yeah,
that's a good question. So what they're doing the same thing. They're creating content about a particular topic, usually. And on their blog, they're selling advertising. It can be Google, it can AdSense, they'll pay you per click. They can be selling other types of advertising where they're promoting a product. They're doing affiliate marketing where they put a review of a product on their blog. People find that, they click through, and if somebody buys that product, they get paid. That's what they're doing. People are very successful with that. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
yeah. So are they hired by companies to like read and
Sometimes.
study their material and then talk about it? Is that what they are? Or they're more a subcontractor type thing?
For the affiliate relationship? No, affiliate marketing is, so say I created a Facebook product, which I just did, and I put it up on a website. It's called JVZoo. It's a joint venture website. So some affiliates come in and they see my product and they read about it and they say, oh, I'd like to write about this on my blog. And they apply, they say, I would like to promote this. I determine whether or not I want to allow them to promote it. And if I do allow them to promote it, they get 50% if they sell one. So say it's $100, they get $50 whenever they sell one. So somebody comes to their blog, reads about it, clicks the link, buys it, automatically $50 goes into their account. That's how that works.
Thank you.
Is there some sort of certification or ranking for those people? Like, I would be with like a Better Business Bureau.
Uh-huh.
Is there something in that arena for bloggers that they are, you know what I'm saying?
You know they're legitimate or not?
Yeah. Or not even if they're legitimate, are they good? Are they really,
Right.
I mean, you know, you're dealing with something that's so not
Intangible.
yes,
Right.
intangible. You
Yeah.
know, it's like air.
And
I'm
it is,
paying
well,
for air.
you're paying for information is what you're paying for.
Okay, yeah.
It's information marketing, and the best information marketers are the ones that have the biggest lists and the biggest followings, become the most reputable because they have it's the chicken and the egg thing at that point. But you'll learn about who they are, And because other affiliates will promote their products, and we're getting into more affiliate marketing, but when it comes to blogging, you'll notice them. They'll come up in searches a lot more. If you're researching a product, for example, that you're interested in buying, they might have written a review of it. You read that review and make the determination for yourself whether or not you find it's worthwhile. It really comes, I mean, it is kind of the Wild West out there still to this day. And so it is, buyer beware.
Right.
But there are definitely a lot of reputable, legitimate bloggers, people promoting other products. And if they promote a lot, think about it, if you're going to promote a product that's just horrible, you're not going to be around too long. So you want to find the best ones out there that are most reputable. And product creators themselves, they're putting out the best products they can, some of them. So that's kind of the long and short of that. But yeah, it is buyer beware for sure. Here's some good ways to come up with ideas for blog articles. Answer your prospects' questions. How many questions do your prospects have? I bet each of you could come up with a list of 100 easily, probably in a half an hour, right? The average number of answers to questions on websites is 5 to 10. It's crazy. People don't answer their customers' questions. Why wouldn't you answer their questions? One of the best answers to questions is, how much does it cost? Yeah, and you're right. It'll go right to the top, and you don't even have to answer 100%. You can say, well, it depends, But how much does it cost? At least you gave them an answer. People aren't answering their questions. Use survey answers. Send out a survey to your customers. Write about the answers, or write about what came back. Review other industry blogs. Answer LinkedIn questions. That's back to LinkedIn. That's a great way to do it. That's where people come up with great content. Teach. That's what I'm doing today. I'm out here teaching you. Obviously, I want to try to get you to hire me to help you do whatever you need to be done with internet marketing, but I want to teach you too, so you understand what's involved, and you can go do it for yourself if you want to. If you don't have time, maybe you'll consider asking us to do it. Answer email questions. Elaborate on FAQs. How many people have an FAQ section on their website? Everybody should, if they don't. And you can use those. Maybe there's 20 questions people, and again, it's back to questions, but elaborate on them, and then you can come up with a lot of content that way. So here's a couple of examples that were pretty exciting. Literally in about a week and a half, Adrienne wrote this article, customizing the Facebook link preview. There's 2.8 million results, and she's number 1. If you type it in, I'm pretty sure she's still there. Our blog is number 1, info.jazzdesignco.com/blog, and then customizing the page. See how that works? It's in the title. It's in the URL. This is another good example. There's 172 million results when you type in Internet Marketing Software Comparison Review. And I compared DemandForce, which is a software that's great for service companies like a pest control company, a plumber, things like that. It'll get reviews for them. And then I compared that with HubSpot. And I'm ranked, I think I'm probably ranked number 1 now, but I'm ranked number 2 for that out of 172 million results. All right, so call to action. These are what I was talking about, the call to action buttons. Create an effective call to action. It's important to word it well. This is the interface in HubSpot that allows you to do this very easily. You can write in your text, determine what color it is, determine where it's going to land, which page it's going to go on your website, and you can actually put these things, after you create them in HubSpot, on any web page that you have access to on the internet. So it doesn't have to be necessarily on your website. It can be on somebody else's website if you're doing like a guest blog or something like that, or you're sending out an email. you can create a call to action to get them back. Some cool features with HubSpot is that you can do A/B testing, meaning you can send them to, it'll split. If there's 10 people that go and click on the call to action, 5 will go to one page and 5 will go to another page, and you can see which one converts better. So A/B testing is pretty cool. It's really exciting when you have not just 5, but when you have 5,000, then you get a really good indication of which page converts better. These are some call to action examples on our website. Change these a little bit, but this that article that I wrote. Here's the content. When they find this, they have the option to download a 10-step checklist if they're getting ready to redesign a website. That's when it's our most downloaded PDF that we have, and guide to inbound marketing, which I will show you how to get that at the end of this. All right, landing pages, like I talked about before. These are great to create them well, so that there's a lot of description in your landing page, so that when somebody gets there and they're like, oh, I don't really want to fill in this form, you have an opportunity to show them what the benefit for them to fill that form in would be. Putting a really nice image on there is a great idea. It improves conversions and improves submissions. And again, you can customize these and A/B test them. This is an example of a landing page that we created recently. Has anyone seen this campaign? Because I've been promoting it quite a bit. This is a 5-part video training series on Facebook, tips and tricks for your business. If you didn't subscribe to it yet, please do. It's Adrian put together literally 5 videos. They're about 5 minutes long each, and she goes through tips and tricks on using Facebook for business. All you have to do is fill out your first, last, and your email address. Very easy. You get immediate access to the first one, and then over the next 4 days, you get the rest of them. And again, that over the next 4 days, so that's a workflow. That's an email sequence that people get.